A while back I met a kid, his name was Jimmy. He lived in a small house with his pops far from the city. He was just your quiet kid, loved reading books and art. He even painted on his spare time, but never showed the part, and he wasn't sure why. But he just kept his pics a secret. It's just how he escaped reality, like he was dreaming. His father never let him out, released his anger on the kid. He covered bruises and scratches behind the canvas where he hid. The blood dripped off his lips, spilled paint and Heineken. His dad was a drunk, getting beat was a part of the life he's in, but he was talented. If only you could see his pieces. He painted his favorite blanket perfectly with creases. You see, he never had a friend, so his social life was dead, and staying in his room a lot began messing with his head. Little Jimmy was adventurous but wouldn't break regulations, cause that would mean a black eye and even strangulation. So when he painted landscapes with animals and nature, he only painted what could be seen through his window's limitations. But as we all grow, we start questioning authority. He grew bored of seeing and painting the same forest leaves. So one day, when his dad was drunk and knocking out, he put a chair to his doorknob and quietly wandered out into the forest with his canvas paintbrush and pigments. He felt he never lived a life and he just simply existed. So every cold breeze he felt was transferred into tears. He fell to his knees and cried cause he was finally here. He couldn't believe the beauty cause it just wasn't the same. Watching the wind blow the leaves from behind his window pane, he was amused by the crunching leaves beneath his feet. He quickly turned to find a bird when he heard a chirp or a cheep. Up ahead there was a tree line, behind it was a street. There was a field of wheat by where the asphalt and fence would meet. It was some type of farm that he had never seen at all, because the forest in between it and his house had formed the wall. But skipping in the tall grass, it took the smile off his face. He saw a girl in a red dress that looked just about his age. She had dark hair, dimples, and almond eyes, and from a distance he heard her laugh. He became so mesmerized, cause this was the first girl he seen since his mother died. He remembered her love and how she used to tuck him in at night. She used to sing him a song that would take away his fears. He knew the tune, but the words were lost with the passing of years. But he knew that if he heard it again, he would recognize it was about a traveler who navigated with the skies, and he found his way home using the stars like in the ocean. Then his mom would kiss him on the cheek and tell him that she loved him. And by this time, little Jimmy just swallowed the pain, quickly set up his canvas and just decided to paint. He went into the maze of pines and started stroking his brush, and in the silence where he didn't hear a crackle or hush, some rumbling, snapping twigs came from out of a bush. He turned around, it was a girl, and he immediately blushed. She said her name was Alice, and she'd been looking for her doll. Her eyes shifted to the painting, he didn't notice it at all. You see, my boy Jimmy, he was always eager to assist, so they walked around for hours. Working clocks didn't exist, they got along so famously, destined to become the best of friends. He slept that night smiling, his misery was at an end, and every now and then he left so they could meet again. He kept this up for months, expecting this friendship never to end. Then suddenly, Cupid aimed an arrow when it hit. Jimmy was in love and it was harder than his father's fist. They went upon this hill one day and Jimmy scrambled for his courage. He never showed his paintings, but he thought that she was worth it. She smiled and she told him that she felt that he was gifted. He turned around because his eyes slowly began to glisten. She turned him back over and noticed that he had a scratch. When she asked about his scars, Jimmy simply smiled back. But before he could lie to her and tell her that he was good, he heard his father's voice echo stampeding throughout the woods. He darted off, but she followed. Love can make us foolish. He turned around to tell her that she didn't want to do this. Before he could explain, he felt excruciating pain. He looked down to find it turning to a scarlet colored stain. Jimmy fell to his knees, his father with the knife stood over him. Then Alice ran over and took a hold of him, and she sang him a lullaby, and it took away his fears. It was the same song that he hadn't heard in years. He knew that if he heard it again, then he would recognize. Jimmy's head fell back and he stared into the skies, into the starry blanket that reminds him of the ocean. Then Alice kissed him on the cheek and told him that she loved him.